My name is Ralph Resnick. I'm a wildlife artist. I come out of a family, mother and father, and I'm one of three boys. I'm the middle of the sandwich. And let me tell you a little bit about my story. It starts like this. Wake up, it's time to go. It's 12 o'clock at night on Thursday. My parents would wake us up and they would put us into a motor car that was packed and ready to go. And we would then travel the 5-hour journey to the Kruger National Park. Once we entered the Kruger National Park, we'd start looking for animals. This, sitting around and waiting for the animals to come, is what taught me a lot of patience. My father was a wildlife photographer. When he was taking pictures, I didn't have a camera. I asked my parents for paper and pencil. In the beginning, I was using just pencil and paper. As time moved on, I started to look for other ways of putting the pencil onto the paper. My first way was to start using an eraser with a piece of paper that's covered in pencil, and I could then take the eraser like this, pick up pencil, and then over here I could put it down. I can also use a small eraser because it has different size edges, and I can put other tones down. I can use the clean side of the eraser to take things away. Here is an eraser with a piece of leather, and if I do this, I can get a completely different feel, much softer. And now I can draw and paint with this. But all the time I can use the eraser to take out. So if I want to draw something, I can remove. And I can now start working in to what I've drawn. What happens when the eraser gets dirty like this? So to keep this clean, I'm always wearing denims. 2 or 3 strokes like this on the denims makes it spotlessly clean. I'm using the eraser in the opposite way that it's supposed to be used. Most people use an eraser to remove. I use an eraser to put down a stroke. It's a technique that's unique to me, and I use it to create the things that I love to do. One of the things I like to do is also to add a little bit of color. And to do that, I use different things. And one of the things I love to drink and I love to use in my paintings is a tea. So now if I take this, I can start putting color. And I can start working color into my work. I would let it splash. I also use watercolor, mainly to do things like the eyes of the animal, or the hair on the back of the neck of the animal, or the body of the animal, depending on how I feel. Let's look at one of my completed paintings. I will only show you a painting that has my signature on it. My signature also indicates to everyone that I'm happy with it. But if we look in the details, I spoke about the eraser. So all these strokes here are done with the big side of the eraser. as well as these down here. But these white ones you see inside here are done with something like this. The actual wild dog is done initially in pencil. The color you see here is tea. The eye is the very last thing I do on all my paintings. The reason I do that is that if the eye is not alive, the whole painting looks dead. This zebra came in the middle of the day to the water to drink. It was very hot and it walked all the way into the water. I wanted to, in the painting, give the feeling that the zebra was in the water. I purposely put it towards the bottom of the picture. It's not sitting at the top, so the water's down at the bottom. And then all the water is done by taking out little shapes to give the feeling of reflection of the water. In this particular scenario, these hyena had actually killed that zebra. And I tried to portray the alpha queen standing in front of everybody and standing very proud. The name hyena comes from the ancient Egyptian word for saffron. I used the saffron just in the mane of the hyena because that's what the ancient Egyptians saw. The saffron color was here. My hope at the end of the day is that when you look at the picture, you stop for just one extra moment and feel something about it. And if I manage to do that with you, then I've achieved what I want. That's what makes me happy.